Okay, hello everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. And today we have a very special guest, and I would say that he's an expert in AI. Hello, Gavin. Nice to meet you here. Yeah, would you want to introduce yourself, and then probably I will leave it to you how you want to start the conversation. And then, of course, for all of you here, if you have any question, put in the chat box, and then I will address it as and when we see.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gavin. First of all, thanks, John, for inviting me to be sharing what I know. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert or guru or anything. I just happen to be someone who uses AI probably a little bit more than the general public. That's how I will frame myself. For those of you who have not heard of me before, I actually run a digital marketing agency for the last 10 years. As of now, I run a group of companies called Model Wealth Group. We do about $20 million a year. And we run an education academy as well. We teach adults. I also run a marketing agency, an AI agency, an events company, and so on and so forth. I think the key takeaway is how can one person do so many things? And that's only possible today because number one, I have a great team. And number two, with AI helping us to take away a lot of the mundane tasks, we are able to then focus on more high value work. I believe what John has shared earlier is that many of you here are actually tutors, and tutors we teach from the heart. And because I'm an educator as well in that sense, right? So we always deliver from the heart. But there's always that worry now, is AI going to replace us? AI going to replace what we do? In my personal opinion, right, I do not believe that AI is replacing us as of now. AI is not yet replacing us. But what I will put forth for us to understand is this, right? AI is not the one replacing you, but the person or the tutor next to you who knows how to utilize AI may be replacing you, right? That's the perspective that I like to put forward, right? Whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, AI is here, right? And AI is probably here to stay, okay? And it's time that we need to see how we can adapt and change, right, in order for us to move forward with the times, right? The truth is that it's normally not the strongest who survive. It's normally the most adaptable.
Sorry, so in a sense, what I'm hearing is AI is just a tool. It's not that AI will be taking over our job. It's the person who's sitting next to you who is very good in AI will actually supersede and take over your customers.
Yes, potentially. I truly believe that is the case there. Even for us who are business owners here, definitely, right? Let me give you an example. If you are here today, and in business, ultimately you as a tutor, you're running your own business. Right? And one of the things that my mentors have used to teach me a lot is this phrase, the best known beat best. So what does that mean, right? You can be the best tutor in the world, but if nobody knows Coach John, you will fade into oblivion, right? Nobody will know who you are, right? There's someone very mediocre, but knows how to market themselves, put themselves out there, is going to get a lot more business than you, right? You can say, yeah, I'm sorry, I know we are all very heart-driven people, but you can have all the heart you want, but you got no business, you're struggling, you got no heart to think about anything else, or mind to think about anything else, right? You also have to survive, right? So one of the key principles that I think many of us here, perhaps as solopreneurs, that's how I got started as well. When we first began, we don't really understand this concept, right? We just think that we just do our best, business will come. That's not necessarily the case. You also need to know how to market yourself. And I think today with AI, marketing yourself could be a lot easier. And later what I will do is I also share some techniques on how you can potentially do that. So that's a good question and a good point that I wanted to bring up as well. John, anything else that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, so I think what I'm hearing here is as much as all of us are great in our craft, and I'm sure that all of us can connect with our clients, but if no new people know you, then it'll be a challenge to generate new leads. So the key here is to be top of mind.
Yeah, to be top of mind. And if you want to be top of mind, there are many different ways that you can be top of mind. You can be creating content, or you can be making sure that people can search and find you. So there are a few ways to go about doing that. And because of the limited time that I have, maybe what I'll do later is I will share some demo. I will show you all how you all can probably do a little bit of the organic search on your own. Yeah, to improve your visibility.
Okay, for our audience here, if any question, please let us know in the chat box, because I think the more question you have and the more specific it is, the more value you're going to get out of the sharing. Otherwise, we are just going to rattle on non-stop and then we may not meet your needs. That's why I also learned from my mentor. The one who participate the most and ask questions are going to get the more value out of the session. So if you want to be top of mind, this is also an opportunity for you to put in the action right now.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so maybe for everyone else who is here, and today we have about 10 of you here in this room. So for those of you who have any question, again, I implore you, please just type down the question that you might have, because the truth is, I do not have that much information about what you might want to know, or rather what you need. Yeah. I do not know you personally and your challenges in your business. So if you could list them out very directly in the chat for me, if I can address, I'll be more than happy to address it during this session as well, so that we make the most of this. If not, what I will do now is, John, is it possible that I share my screen?
Of course, I made you the co-host already.
Okay. Let me just maybe share my screen. I believe everyone is seeing my screen right now. I think one of the key things that people do is that people actually using Google a lot, right? Will you all agree with me that many people who maybe look for you, potentially either it's by word of mouth, because you're doing such a great job, your students are actually referring, right? The parents are actually referring, or there is a high chance that people are actually going online to search for you. People are going online to say that, oh, who are the best tutor in Kovan, for example, best tutor in Jurong or in Singapore. Is it fair to say that? Yes. So maybe what I can showcase to you is that you look at my screen right now, I'm going to open the incognito window. Right, so this is the incognito window. right? And this means there's no history, there's no cookie whatsoever. Okay, so I'm going to do an experiment right now, right? If I search, for example, right, top AI coach Singapore, okay, I'm going to search for top AI coach Singapore, for example. Right? Can you all just tell me who is the first name that you all see that appears?
Oh, there's a name. Wow, that's interesting.
So can you imagine, will you all agree with me that this would be very powerful if this become top tutor in Singapore and then your name appear there? Would you agree that would be very powerful? So this is something that you can potentially do, right? And it's actually not that difficult to achieve it today. But first of all, what you need to do is that you all need to have a personal branding, a personal website. Can I just ask you all to interact with me in the chat right now? How many of you here actually have your own website, right? If you have your own website, type 1, right? If you have no website whatsoever, you can type 2.
The social media profile,
But that does not constitute a website. A website means you have your own domain, you have your own website.
okay, type
so
1.
If people are typing 1, that's great, right? At least you started on some form of journey on that. But I also see quite a number of tools, right? So for those people who have 2, then you need to start thinking of how you can be getting your own websites up and everything, right? So this is something that you all need to start thinking about. So the question now is that then how can you potentially do that? Okay, because I only have a very short period of time, I just want to dive right into it. So there were 2 tools that I would need you all to understand and to utilize in order for you all to build a website. And if later I can show you all can build a website in less than 2 minutes, will that be powerful?
Yep, definitely.
It will just be 2 minutes thing. It really doesn't take long anymore, but all you need is just 2 minutes. Okay. So the 2 tools that you need to use, right, is the first tool that I believe everybody would know of. And this tool is ChatGPT. Right? How many of you here uses ChatGPT? If you use ChatGPT, can you type a yes in the chat? If you don't use ChatGPT, can you type a no? My expectation would be everybody will type yes. If in 2025, right, going 2026, you type no, then you got to do something about it already, right? Okay, so everybody type yes, that's wonderful, right?
In a cave.
ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is what we call LLM. What's an LLM? LLM is a large language model. Okay, so a large model is basically a tool, right, that can help you to converse. And what we are doing today is a conversational AI model. So there are many different models out there that you can use. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Gemini, you can use Perplexity, you can use DeepSeek, you can use all these other tools out there. Okay, but most of us, our first interaction will probably be ChatGPT. Okay, so the first thing that you all need to do is that you all need to go over to ChatGPT. Right? So for the purpose of demo, let me just bring it up as well. I just open a new window here. Okay, so for example, I will go over to ChatGPT. And then I'm logged into my account. And once you are here, the first thing that I would like to advise you all to do is that if you are not yet talking to ChatGPT, right, my advice would be that you all should be talking to GPT as much as you can. Meaning, don't just type, right? Use voice, dictate, and interact with GPT as much as you can, because it will save you a lot of things to move forward. Okay, so what you want to do is that when you come to ChatGPT, you just want it to give you a prompt, right, for you to create a website on another tool called Lovable. All right, so Lovable basically is what we call vibe coding tool. Now, vibe coding basically means you can do programming or creating a website or app just by using natural language. You can talk to the program and it can create an app for you. There are many competing tools out there. There's Lovable, there's a Google AI Studio, there's a Replit, there's Buzz, Base44, so on and so forth. There are many tools out there. For the ease of beginners, I personally think that Lovable is one of the easiest tools to get started, but you choose what you want once you understand the concept. All right. So what we need is that those two, if I go over to Lovable, for example, okay, you will realize that it has a very similar prompt box here. Right. So what we need is that we need to input the prompt into Lovable so that it can start building the website for us. So the question is now, okay, how do I get this prompt so that you can start building this website for me, especially for those of you who have yet to have your own website? Okay, so what you want to do is that I will go over to ChatGPT and then I will talk to the AI. So I will talk to it, for example, something like this, right? Hey, ChatGPT, actually I'm a tutor based in Singapore and I'm looking to build a personal branding website as well as a website to do a bit of a lead generation. And I want to position myself as the top private tutor in Singapore, especially for primary level specializing in chemistry. Do you have any questions that you have for me so that we can do the website better and make sure that I can rank well in Google? And then once you're done, what I need is that I need a super prompt for lovable.dev so that I can copy and paste it to create a website for myself. Okay, so I will just talk to ChatGPT like this. Okay, and you realize that when you talk, chances are it's a lot smoother, right? You realize that the transcription is actually accurate. A lot of people still say I talk to computer every time they say things wrongly. But if you look at my transcription, it's actually very accurate, right? The model behind it is advanced, is very accurate. Okay. So once I told ChatGPT what I wanted to do, all I need to do is to click on enter. Okay. And ChatGPT, which is actually now upgraded to 5.1 already, they will ask me a few questions. Okay. And I will need to answer them, right, before they will give me additional answers. For example, now there is a lot of questions that they have. Okay. So imagine that if you had to type down like 19 questions. Many of us, If we put our hand to heart, it'd be like, screw this, I'm not gonna type so much, right? But if you talk to it, right, it's actually very easy, right? And the one lesson that you all need to understand is you need to always provide as much context as possible to your LLM, because the more context that you can provide to the LLM, the better the quality of the answers it can give you. All right. So if you have to type and you decided that it's too much, I don't want to type anymore, then it's not going to give you the best possible answer. But if you actually just talk to it, you talk for 2 minutes, you can able to get everything. So for the purpose of demo, I'm just going to do that as well. This is how you go.
Sorry, so one quick question. So when you say talk, is it you just click on the mic icon in the ChatGPT platform?
Yes. So for your case, you all can see that there is this mic detect button there. All you all need to do is to click on that.
And this is already in the ChatGPT website.
Yes, this is already in the ChatGPT website. For me, I have the app downloaded on my desktop, so I normally use the app version.
Got it. The other question that I have is I heard you say you didn't just say prompt, you say super prompt. Does it make a difference?
Not really make a lot of difference. I'm just very used to the term super prompt.
Okay, I'll use it as well.
Yeah. Super prompt is the conscious mind is just telling me that it's going to be a bit more detailed as compared to just a generic prompt. But in real world application, I don't really think there's a difference.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Good questions, John. And by the way, any of you who have any questions as well, please feel free to type in the chat, because I'm always constantly looking at the chat. So questions, I would like to get it answered as much as possible.
You need a paid plan for ChatGPT to do this, or it can be a free plan?
It can be a free plan. It doesn't really require a paid plan to do that. And for those of you that might be asking, is Lovable free or not? Okay, so Lovable itself is also free. You get 5 credits per day, right, to be able to use for free. And if you need more, it will cost you $20 a month, which is reasonable. Of course, if you have to pay for hosting and everything, also it will also cost you a bit of money. The mindset here, I like to say, is I'm not in a position to tell you that you have to spend, but I would say that is a bit of an investment into your own business. One, for those of you who are not subscribing to any of these, if I were to say my $20 every month, right, for ChatGPT Plus, it's probably one of the best $20 that I ever spend in my life every single month.
Yep.
Right? That's my personal opinion, right? It elevates my productivity and my efficiency to such a level that I'm more than happy to pay $20 every single month. And if I'm doing it as a business, especially because it could generate additional value for me, it's an investment. Right? So that would be the mindset that I like to promote. If you think about it, you spend $20 on ChatGPT, another $20 on Lovable, you rank number 1 on Google, how much new business potential you can get? Is it not worth it? I'm not here to answer that question for you, because it's for you to decide. But if I'm a business owner, it's definitely money that I will spend without hesitation. Yeah. So now then, I will come inside here and then I will answer this particular question here. For example, I just use John's name now. So my details will be wrong, so just pardon me. So for example, ChatGPT, my full name is John Yeo, and I am teaching primary level science, and I'm teaching chemistry. I think what makes me unique is that I used to be an ex-MOD teacher. I have more than 10 years of experience, and all the students that come under me, every single one of them gotten an A, right? When it comes to their year-end exams and their PSLE, right? So it's really my track record. I have taught over more than 1,000 students over my 10 years in this industry, and I even have students who went on to get like a scholarship, to get the President's Scholar. So really, I have been really good at what I do. My core teaching philosophy is that we teach by the heart, and I make sure that people learn from the first principles, right? We teach from first principles. I make sure that they understand from the fundamentals. Right? The frameworks that I use is something I call the JY framework, which is something that is unique to me. And I teach both one-to-one and group classes. All my classes are physical. My timings are flexible, my location is in Toa Payoh, and my fees is upon request only. I think parents want to reach me, they can reach me, number 1, either via WhatsApp, or either the inquiry form, or through the email. We do not take phone calls, right? There is always a 1 free trial lesson, and prior to them joining my tuition, they will have to take a paid assessment to determine their suitability. My branding and tone is that I want to be warm and caring, yet very professional and premium. My brand colors, I prefer it to be blue and purple. I have no logo for now, so let's just leave it empty. The keywords that I want to rank for is top primary science tutor Singapore, best chemistry tutor Singapore. Imagine I have to type down all this information. Some of you might take 10, 15 minutes to actually type this down. But now all I did was talk for 2 minutes. I got all this information here. So once I've done that already, immediately, right, ChatGPT will go in to create this prompt for me. And then I will copy and paste this prompt into Lovable. I see Suling have a question. Suling said, I'd like to ask about Lovable. I use it, but I haven't launched it. I'd like to ask when it's launched. Is it like my own domain and you can continue to use Lovable? Yes, Suling. So you can always connect your own domain to Lovable. Right. Later, I will show you how to do that as well as we move along. Okay. So I have gotten this. It is still happening.
What I realized is just now when you rattle on for 2 minutes, right? Those are covered by the questions asked by the ChatGPT.
Yes.
So you have to follow the questions. So I think one takeaway for me is we really need to be as clear as we can to give the ChatGPT the context that we are in.
Yes, 100%. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the key things that you all need to understand is always make sure that you give it as much context as possible, because the more that you can give to the ChatGPT, the more it's able to understand who you are, what you do, what are your challenges, and it can give you a better answer. We do not want ChatGPT to be glazing you all the time. Actually, the thing is that ChatGPT actually is trained on so much parameters. They are actually very good at becoming your wingman. It's actually very good at becoming your blind spot checker, right? They can be the one telling you that you are missing stuff, right? Let's focus this on a little bit more, or they are able to pick up details that we as humans may miss, right? So the way that you talk to ChatGPT is extremely important. Okay. And I realized that I missed out something here. So for the purpose of demo, I'm going to add one more thing as well, right? I'm going to say something like this. ChatGPT, can you also make sure that you add WhatsApp button for my website so that people can click on it and connect with me on WhatsApp? And the number that I want them to connect with me will be +65 88213786. So for example, that is one of my demo number. Okay, so now they are creating this blog for me. Okay, so it's very easy, right? You realize that until now, right, I have not even did any form of coding, right? All I did is talk to ChatGPT. Okay, so I just copy this. Here. I just come in here and paste.
Wow.
And then I come back here because now I got the WhatsApp button, right? I'll just copy this. And then I will paste this as well. Okay, so if you have some pictures or whatever, you can add. Maybe let me just add some. I'm not sure if I have some photos of. I'm just gonna pretend to add.
Yeah, that's me. He's more handsome.
Yep. Random photos.
Okay,
Okay, so I got it done already. I just gonna click on enter. That's it.
The other question that I want to ask, because I think as educators, sometimes we're not very tech savvy. How would you explain to someone the difference between content and context? Someone may say a lot of content, but probably it's not the context that the GPT needs. How would you help them to differentiate that?
Okay, so I don't think it's important to go into the nomenclature to understand or to explain exactly what is the difference between content or context. But I would put forth this idea is that whenever you talk to ChatGPT, one of the few things that I always ask ChatGPT is this, right? One of the prompts that I always use within my ChatGPT when I use it personally is I will always ask this question. I always tell ChatGPT this thing. I will say, ask me clarifying questions until you are 95% sure that you can complete the task.
Oh, wow.
So I will always ask ChatGPT that question. It forces ChatGPT to not take what I want or what I say and then just add on it immediately. It forces ChatGPT to always ask me more things. And then when that happens, they will ask me a shit ton of questions. It will be pertaining to my content. It will be pertaining to my context, right? That's why I don't want to go into the nomenclature. But then when they ask all these questions, I think you as the user, just to the best of your ability, answer everything that they ask you. And then the more that you can provide them, chances are the output will always be better. Does that make sense, guys? If that makes sense for everybody, can type 1 in the chat for me. And that's to make sure that you guys are still around me.
So just to make sure is if you're not sure or you never take the final output as the final output, if you can always end it off with, ask me things that I miss out. Please help me to guide me through what else do I miss out to make the project more complete.
Yes, definitely. There's definitely one way that you can do it. The other way, for those of you who are a bit more, I would say, quote unquote, hardworking, right? Sometimes as Singaporeans, we always like to seek second opinion, third opinion, right? Actually, LLMs, you also can do the same thing. You also can seek the second opinion, third opinion. For those of you who might be following me on TikTok, if you ever do that, I did a video before. So what I've just done here, right? I could always just use ChatGPT, use the answer, right? And then I put into Gemini. And then I ask Gemini, hey, do you think this answer is good enough? Did I miss out anything? And then Gemini give me, and then you will add on, right? And then when it's done, I can use it. And then I go into Claude. Claude is another LLM. And then I ask it, hey, this answer good enough? And then in my experience, right, after going through that for like maybe 2 to 3 rounds, there will come a point that LLMs will all tell you this. They say, hey, hello, bro. Good already, very good already, good enough. So you can use. Yeah. So I use them to check each other. So that could be something that if you have the time, you can go ahead and do that if you want to. But if not, based on what I just shared with you, right, especially the prompt that I just talked about, you can use that. And in essence, it should be able to help you develop into a very good context for the LM in that conversation already. Okay. Maybe while we are waiting, because this will normally take about 2 to 5 minutes, right? While we are waiting here, what I like to check with everybody is how do you prepare your lessons? Do you still use, I don't know, PowerPoint, Google Slides, or how do you prepare all your lesson plan? Can you type that in the chat for me? Or maybe John, you can share.
Google Slides. Sorry, actually I got one question. Maybe I can give them more time to digest the question and then to type the chat box. Yeah, probably I got one question, which is you mentioned that you use Claude.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you have your own way like deciding when do you use ChatGPT, when do you use Claude?
Yes. Okay, so I use all sorts of LLM, but I would say that if you are general user, I think ChatGPT will be good enough. ChatGPT is generally very good in all of the tasks that it can do, right? In fact, I think this one we all can relate because you're all tutors, right? It's like one of the top students in class. It may not be the best in anything, but overall it's like the best. Right? But it's not like the top in chemistry, the top in physics, the top in whatever. But overall, because it's so good in everything, it's one of the top students. Right? If I'm using Claude, for example, then Claude to me is very good for coding. right? If I need to do any coding task, my first choice will always be Claude or Opus, right? Which is their model. I think it's very good. Of course, the other models are also catching up right now. So if I need to do deep research, for example, or if I want to have deep information coming from YouTube, for example, then I will go for Gemini, because Gemini is owned by Google. It's the only LM where I can really pull into the data of YouTube, right? So then I will use Gemini. And Gemini have other cool functions that I can, maybe if I have some time, I will showcase later as well. So unless I have very specific use case, then I will go into each of these. But in general, for most of you listening in right now, I would say don't worry about it. If you have to just spend $20, just ChatGPT is good enough. Honestly, you don't need to. If you have a Google Workspace or G Suite, then just use Gemini. You don't need to spend the extra $20. But if you don't have any of this, then ChatGPT will be good enough. You are not at the level, in general, to purposely want to use Claude, you are probably not here listening to it already. Being very honest.
Yeah, we have a question in the chat box. So, Suling, which one is better for language?
I don't understand the question. What do you mean is better for language?
Okay, maybe what I can... Suling, are you able to unmute and share more?
Sorry, because I'm busy at the moment. I just want to ask, because I'm an English language tutor, right? I've been using paid Claude, but I'm thinking whether I should try out ChatGPT, because I also have been hearing that it has been improving its model and everything. So I just want to ask Gavin's expertise, like between Claude and ChatGPT. Let's say I want to do language resources or create anything relating to language, which is better.
When you say you want to create anything regarding language, what kind of peripherals are you referring to?
Let's say maybe regards to, because I'm revamping my worksheets using Claude, but of course it's not 100%. I still have to edit and review sometimes. Yeah, so I'm just thinking, because I'm not sure whether I should try another LLM or not. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I think your question more, okay, disclaimer here, don't speak Queen's English. So I'm not going to be able to comment as to what is the difference between language capability between the... I think generally all they speak better than I do. I can't comment on that. But if you want to talk about the kind of artifact that they create, the PDFs or the slides and everything, if you're on Claude, I think Claude is fine, because I do feel that Claude produces better worksheets or PDFs as compared to ChatGPT at this point of time. But if you're saying that you want to explore something else beyond Claude, then my recommendation would be then consider exploring Gemini instead. Because I think Gemini produces better artifacts, or better or comparable artifacts to Claude. And you also can hang on the fact that because Gemini integrates very well with the G Suite tools, which means it integrates very well with Google Documents. It integrates better with Google Slides, Google Sheets, and everything. Right? So if you do anything on those platforms, it generally it's good lah. Yeah. So if you want to do other things, then I would say rather than considering ChatGPT, maybe consider Gemini. I hope that answers your question, Suli. Yeah, but if ChatGPT one, I think ChatGPT always, when they create artifacts, normally not so great at this moment based on my own testing. Yeah.
Yeah, she said thanks. I think she got her questions answered. I think this is also a great time to talk about the Google Slides. Just like you asked a question, like for educators to prepare slides, right? So what platform do I use? In the past, I used to come across this app called Gamma. But in the past, I used a lot of PowerPoint slides, and I think I still do it now, not knowing what's a better way to do it.
Yeah, doesn't actually mention that he uses Gamma as well. I also Gamma. I think Gamma is great. Gamma is wonderful. It's speedy, right? It can create wonderful for you as well. But of course, Gamma is paid. Right? But later, I can show you another tool if you got time. If time permits, another tool called Notebook, which is actually a wonderful tool that you can now create slides as well. Or if you don't want to use Gamma, you can actually just use Gemini itself later to do it. But okay, what we do is, okay, so let's just come back here first, right? Let's just come back here first. So it already created a website for us, right? There's some minor errors here and there. But let's just take a look at the website. Okay, because I didn't give them the logo, so they think this empty space for me to put the logo. But very quickly, you can see that we already have a website, right? To mention who I am, what I teach you in heart, right? Blah, 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 blah. My philosophy, about me, philosophy, what students will develop, what's my methodology, my classes and fees. Right? They even put in some fake testimonials, so on and so forth. And then we got the free trial, how can they book, blah, blah, blah. So for the first prompt, right, how many will agree that this is really quite decent website that is auto-generated? Now all you need to do is to refine the website. Okay, of course, how can you edit it? It's very easy. All you need to do is to talk to it, like you would talk to a friend, right? And then you can actually do all the edits here. I can click on edits, and then I can do whatever I need to change. Right? If I don't like this line, I can just literally click on it and change it myself by clicking on the edit button. Okay, and then if I want to do more, I can chat with it to do that. And just now, someone was asking as well, how do I publish? How do I use my own domain and everything? So if I click on publish, I can actually click on the custom domain and add my own domain. And adding our own domain is extremely simple, right? So if I could show, for example, if I click on connect domain, right, they will say, okay, you need to publish your project first. Let me just publish it. Okay. So now this is, of course, published to John Tesla. So basically now this is going to be live. If you go to johntest.lovable.app, you can see the website. But obviously you should use your own domain, right? For the purpose of your own SEO and everything. Okay. But if I want to add my own domain, I just click on custom domain, connect domain. Let's say I want to put like www.johnyo.com, which I assume, John, that's your website.
It's my,
Not yours.
it's not my,
But then I just click on connect domain, for example, right? They will actually analyze and tell me which domain is actually connected. Okay, so they detected it and then they auto set up already. Now you don't even need to go back, right, to the hosting and then set the DNS and everything. Or everything. You just provide your login, they do it for you. That's how simple it is.
okay, so for example, let's say I buy the domain, I
Yeah.
just provide that and then they will access it. They will set
Connect
up
automatically.
Wow, that's interesting.
So it's super easy. So just click on connect domain, pass in your domain details, they will detect, and then they will just tell you, okay, provide me your log, and then they will automatically connect for you. Okay, to be honest, I don't think that's really AI. I think it's just some
AI.
automation that's happened. But it's super simple now, right? In the past, especially for the people who are non, right, they have to like, oh, how do I actually set up my DNS? I need to log in, check for server setting, all these things. So now life is very easy. So really, guys, my point here is there is no excuse for any of you right now who are doing this, and then you are telling me that I'm not able to get my own website.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no excuse for you.
Yeah. What about the web host? Is it from Lovable or is it coming from your other web hosting?
What again? Sorry?
Let's say I'll have a web host. I need to host my website, right?
On Lovable, you don't need to host it anywhere else.
Well, this is really cool, man, because I think it really saves the money. Because in the past, you need to get maybe another hosting company.
Yeah, correct. So that's why I say, okay, to be fair, if you do Lovable, number one, it potentially is free, right? If you don't use the credit too much. But number two is that if you really need to do a lot more edits, because if you really want to do long-term SEO and everything, you probably do a little bit more. It only costs you $20 a month.
Now I know what you mean.
So it's an investment in your business. And again, the power of you being able to rank number one, using what you are doing here, this is pretty amazing. Okay. So anyway, the other thing that I want to share with everybody, so I move on already. Number one, talk quite a bit already. But what we did is that now we have done is that I've shown you how you can quickly just use ChatGPT, talk to it, give you a prompt, and then you can create a website on Lovable in a matter of minutes. So that is the first thing that you all have discovered, right, or learned today. Are we all good on that? If you're all good on that already, can you type a good in the chat so that I know that I'll move on to so-called the next step or what's happening here. Okay, Eileen asked how to link the WhatsApp. Okay, so that's great. So that's exactly what I'm going to show the next thing as well. So remember, I opened up the website here and I said that I wanted a WhatsApp number. So the WhatsApp number that now I have, okay, is that, for example, I click on this button called WhatsApp John, right? Because we have input the number. So immediately it will open up my WhatsApp lah. Okay. So it's actually open up my WhatsApp here, right? This is the number. And I can even say that I want a predetermined message, right? But of course, for the purpose of the demo, now this is linked to my own program and software. So what I can do is that imagine I come over here, right? And then I type something like hi or hello. What it links now is actually it links to my backend AI, right? My AI right now is actually getting the conversation and I actually set it to answer in about 30 seconds or so lah. Because sometimes if you answer immediately, people will say, oh, why is this like, what you call that?
Bot.
Like a bot can so fast reply one. So I actually set a certain settings where my AI will reply in about 30 seconds or so. So what I want to demo is that you can actually set up such system where if someone actually reach out to you, you can provide information to the AI and the AI will be able to help you to reply to your customer automatically. Okay, let's just wait for a while, right, for the bot to reply. But anyway, before we wait for the bot to reply, right, what you need to understand is this. You also need to provide information, right, to the AI. Does that make sense? Because you cannot expect the AI to know everything about your business. The AI, right, will need to know what is it that you have in order for it to provide the information to the customers. Okay, so what I want to do is we want to make sure that we create like an FAQ. We create an FAQ to the AI agent so that we can set up this system for them to help you to nurture leads and to be able to close sales, for example. Okay, so for example, right now, my AI bot has replied to this statement called hello. Hey, what would you like to know about one-man agency program? I would just say something like, tell me more about OMA, please. Okay, so if I key in that, it will send out, and then my AI will think about it for a bit, and then later it will answer questions again. Okay, so now the reply comes in, sure, OMA is a program that teaches you to build a profitable one-man business. Would you like to know about the bootcamp or tools? What tools do you use? Okay, so imagine you have an automated system like that help you to answer questions and close sales for you, right? OMA covers tools like ChatGPT. Okay, great. Where do I sign up? Imagine this is your response, right? And then your response is to send them to a payment link or to maybe a call booking link, right? My AI will reply, you can sign up at onemainagency.org, let me know if on pricing. How many will agree with me that if you can build something like that, it will be helpful for you? It will save you as a solopreneur a lot of time because now you have an agent, right, that can help you to nurture your leads and close sales for you, right? If you agree with me that this will be helpful, can you type A in the chat, right?
Type A, is it?
Yeah, type A for agree. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what we all can do, right? So the question now is, okay, great, right? I've showcased this demo already. How can I actually build it? Okay, so first step first, we need to build a database. Okay, so maybe I just use the same chat again, right? I will just ask it to use ChatGPT to create an FAQ for me. Can you create, based on what you have so far, I need FAQ for AI agent bot to have relevant information about my business. So can you just help me to create a document with all the potential FAQs and answers so that my AI agent can get the relevant information to reply on my behalf? Okay, so that's my instructions to the AI, right? For the purpose of demo, I'm not asking it to ask me clarifying question, blah, 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 right? Because we don't have enough time. So I just want to ask this, right? I go to ChatGPT, right? Ask it to generate an FAQ for me, right? And then ChatGPT will say, okay, sure, complete. This is a FAQ document, okay? So now it's generating. Okay, so while it's generating, right, I don't think we need this anymore, but it's okay, we just leave it here. So the software that I have is my own in-house white label software, but you can also use it. But I'm going to show you how simple that potentially you can build it. Okay, so you can see just now my AI was actually automatically replying, right? So my AI conversational bot is active. So if you go into this software, all you need to do is, for example, you go to AI agent. You can see that I can build different kind of agents. Okay, I can build different kind of agents. So for the purpose of this is what we call a conversational AI. So if I click on the conversational AI, I can create a new bot here. And then I can just put on guided form, for example. So I just click create new bot, general Q&A. I click on continue. And then I want to create a new brand voice for the purpose of this. Okay. Tone of voice should be friendly. I will just leave this. I will build this inside. I click on next. The bot setting, I just give this as put as John, right? And this can actually reply on Instagram, Facebook, SMS, so on and so forth. Hi, how can I help you with John's question today? And then I click on next, and then it will use OpenAI as its response, and I will just click on save. So now I basically have a bot created, and then I can choose when I want it to talk. So for the purpose of this, I just click on autopilot, I just click save and close. And then now I have this bot already. What is important is that I need to just make sure that I give it, right, the knowledge base. Okay, so that is where the FAQ that we created come into play. Right, so far everything that I've done is no code. Right, I come back inside, I create a new database, and then for the purpose of this, I just put John testing, create this database, right, manage the database a bit. I need to upload and add the source, which is text. Right, so I just paste this, everything here, and then John FAQ. And then I click on save. So now, very quickly, in less than, 5 minutes, I have created chatbot. Right, so now let's just go ahead and test this chatbot here. All right, let's go ahead and test this chatbot here. Okay, let me click on back. Okay, let me go on back to conversational AI. Right, I have my agent here, which is under John. Okay, let me edit that because I want to make sure that I can add my database to it. So John testing database. I click on save. So once I've done that already, I can now test my bot. Right, so I can say hi. I just state on hi, and the AI will be able to say, hi, how can I help you with John's tuition today? Just to get started, what should I call you? So I say Gavin. Okay, thanks. What's the best email address? Because I asked you to collect my information, so I can give this out if I want to. They'll probably ask me for my phone number as well. Okay, so you say, all right, John teaches primary science, and how many students did John have? You can reply, right? John has taught over 1,000 students, blah, 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 everything. So the point is this, right? What I'm just trying to demonstrate to you that if you want to today, in the past, if you wanted to be a chatbot like this, that can answer relevant questions, it will probably take you, hours and hours, not weeks or months to actually build up a form of flow. Yes, no, what if flow. But today, all we need to do, right, is that I use ChatGPT to generate FAQ for me in less than 1 minute. I copy and paste into a knowledge base, and boom, in less than 5 minutes, I have a chatbot that can now help me to close sales. Right, you can see that my bot is quite relentless. They are always asking for my name, email address, and phone number because that's how I set it up to be earlier. If I didn't put this way, right, I can just ask it to say that always answer question first and then later close with the phone number so that we can follow up later. So it depends on how you want to set it. But this can be done in less than 10 minutes. So for those of you who are, especially, and if you are doing some form of marketing and you're having a lot of lead flow, okay, you don't have time. Right? Imagine a lesson in the middle of a lesson. What if you are teaching right now, you cannot answer your questions in the next 2 hours? What is going to happen to your lead? The lead will go cold, they will go to other tutors, they will ask other questions. But if you can have a system like this that can answer on your behalf 24/7, would you all agree with me that chances are your lead will be kept warmer longer? Yes or no? So the whole flow of what I'm sharing with you all today is number one, best don't be best, right? So how you can create a website quickly, right? Use the right keywords, launch it, you get yourself ranked on Google, you're going to get more lead first. And then when you get more lead, if you have no time to reply, then how? The second part is you are going to be able to use a system like this to help you to automatically reply to clients so that you can generate more sales or students for yourself. Do you understand the flow? If you understand, can you type a yes in the chat for me, please? So this is how you can do it, right? And I don't want to sell code, but there are many tools out here like this that you can do, right? If you use mine, it's called Salesar, right? Salesar is the one that I have, okay? You want to do this, there's a 1 month free trial. You can go and attempt to use it. It has actually website builder, CRM, sales tracking, document signing, hosting, everything is here as well. It's $97 US per month. You get 1 month trial if you really want to. That's entirely up to you. If not, you go out there are many systems like this that you can use. But the point is that if you don't have something like this, you should consider setting up something similar. All right, cool. So that is what we can do. And actually the time is really 12. So I'm not sure if I have more time to share more things. John, what do you think we should do next? Is everything okay or?
Would you need more things to share? I also value all your time, and I also want to make sure that I don't overrun too much. Maybe we can take some questions from the floor. What are the other AI needs that you have? And I think when it comes to needs using AI tools, you can look at it from the perspective of what is taking up a lot of your time, and you do until you get very sian or very frustrated and asking yourself, why am I doing this again? When you reach that point, there's always one tool out there that can replicate what you're doing. And then you can have the time for yourself or for your family. Maybe we can give them another 2 minutes for any Q&A. If not, we can just do a wrap up.
No problem. We can definitely do that as well. There's a few questions. Okay, SK asks, what is Salesar for again? Okay, so basically Salesar is all-in-one CRM tool that my team and I have developed. Basically, you can store your customer data, you can build websites, survey, email marketing, people can book appointments or your tuition slots. You can put your courses inside there, you can build community, so on and so forth. So everything is all-in-one software that is $97 USD per month, right? So that is what Salesar is for. It's for internal software that my team and I are using. And it's also, we sell it to the public as well. So that is what Salesar is for. And SK, if you need an AI to create lesson notes, worksheet, assessment paper, which one will I suggest? My suggestion for that will be Claude or Gemini, right? Claude or Gemini. I think the artifacts that they create are pretty okay. So maybe what I can do is another quick, maybe 5 minutes. So if I were to go to Gemini, it's gemini.google.com. So for example, if I want to create a lesson plan for maths and physics, I don't really have the lesson detail here, but let's give it a shot. Hey, Gemini, can you help me to create a lesson plan for physics that talks about gravity? I just need a simple lesson plan that talks about gravity and is meant for the primary level. So if you could help me to create a lesson plan and put it into a canvas for me, that would be great. Okay, of course, if you are doing this on your own, you should be providing the necessary details that you want to actually teach, right? If you already have it, right? If not, you can use all this to brainstorm for sure. So it's very important that when I come over to Gemini, right? Okay, let me change the account. Okay, that's my company account. So what I can do is that I will just copy and paste this over here, right? And then it's very important that what I want is that under tools, can you all see this button called canvas? I will recommend that if you want to create an artifact, you must always make sure that you select this thing. It might not activate it. So I click on canvas, okay, and then I will a lesson plan, like for physics, okay, and then I'll click on next. Okay, I already started the canvas, and then now you can see that actually what Gemini is thinking is bringing down the request, it's structuring a lesson, and then it's designing the slides, so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll wait for a bit, and then what you should see next is that the screen will move, and then we will have what we call the canvas that will pop up very shortly. Okay, so let's just wait for a few moments, and we shall see. In the meantime, anyone else have any other questions that I can answer while we are waiting? Because we have to wait for the AI to do its job.
Sure. I think while we are waiting now, I can also chip in. Let's say for me, when I do my resources, I can also upload what I have so that the AI platform has more context. Yeah,
Absolutely.
So definitely give you closer to what you want. This is what I would do, SK.
Absolutely. You should always do your best to provide as information as possible to the AI. You should always give them all the information that they need so that they know exactly what to do. And you can see right now, for those people who are still looking at the screen, it is now creating the slides actually. Right, so we have to wait for it in that sense. Okay, so that is what we have. Maybe I will showcase another tool for those of you who are exploring another tool. I personally feel that this tool is pretty useful, so I will recommend that you all think about it. So the other tool that I like to consider, right, is also by Google. I like this tool called Notebook LM. right? So it's notebooklm.google.com. So if you were to use this tool, imagine this, I want to create a new lesson plan, for example, or just now we have an FAQ, right? Imagine you have an FAQ or you have a lesson that you want to talk about earlier. So for the purpose of demo, imagine I have a Q&A about my agency, for example. So I upload this particular file to show you all what that is. Maybe what I will do is that, let me just open that file for you to take a look. Okay, effectively, you all can see this file is just an FAQ lah, for what is my lesson about. And this is my bootcamp, right? So this is just an FAQ about my 3-day bootcamp where I teach people how to do everything that I share with you all right now more in depth. Okay, so it's just FAQ over here to do that. Okay, so imagine this is your lesson plan. Okay, what I've done is that I just uploaded this lesson plan here. Okay, and I can actually immediately create a video, right, to talk about what this is all about. So all I need to do is that you all can see this button on the top right, It's called video overview. I can generate report or quiz or flashcard, right, to ask questions as well. But if I want to create a video, use AI to create a video, I think that's pretty nice. Right, I can just click on the button itself, or I click on the edit button. I now can ask you to either explain it as an explainer or a brief one. I can even say what kind of images I want it to create. Okay, so for example, I want it to create maybe a whiteboard, a whiteboard picture. Okay, so I will just click on that and then I will click on generate. And based on my info, they will now generate the video. So it will take a while. So for those of us who are wondering what this video may look like, right? So maybe as a demo, do I have one here? So this is how a generated video could be, right? This was generated like 89 days ago. I just play for y'all to take a look how it looks like. Okay, so this is how it is. It's a 6 minutes video. And did I share my sound? Just make sure that y'all can hear the sound.
What if I told you that you could build a truly profitable business all by yourself? No massive team, no crazy overhead, just you. And you could finally get control of your time. Today, we're going to dive into a whole new way of working, one that's powered by some incredible AI tools. Really think about this question for a second. Does it hit home? That feeling that you're just stuck on a hamster wheel, always on someone else's clock. Your income is literally capped by the number of hours in a day. It's a huge frustration for so many people, and it's the exact problem we're going to tackle right now. And that feeling, it has a name. A lot of people call it the 9 to 5.
Okay, so basically this is generated from the same document that you have seen earlier. It's just an FAQ, but you can see that the way that he actually presents the information is very professional, right? Notebook LM, in my opinion, is one of the best tools out there for us as educators, especially if you're not a great presenter. You can actually come here, put in your information, let it generate a video for you. You can literally learn how to present professionally just by emulating them, right? And best part is that they even do the slides for you. Right, so this is definitely one way that I feel that it will benefit a lot of our educator. And if we go back to, okay, Gemini is now ready, right? So Gemini has now created 14 slides based on what is a super fun size lesson. I don't understand why the picture is the leaf, but you can see that it will give you very relevant pictures. All the lesson plan is basically done. And then you say, okay, but then I cannot do anything here. I cannot edit or whatever. Actually, very simple. All I need to do right now is you all can see this button on top called export to slides. Right? Or called export to slides. Okay, all I need to do is I click on export to slides. Okay, it's now creating the slides here. And then I can literally edit on Google Slides. It takes a while, but we can do that. All right, so this is another way you create a lesson plan. You don't even need to create a lesson plan right now. It's all created, it's all done for you. And you feel that there's something that you want to change or you want to add your own branding. For example, now I open the slides. It's now all on Google Docs. Right? Everything is here ready for me to make adjustment. It's 100% editable. Right? If I want to add my own branding, for example, like Model Wealth Academy or my Hey Gavin Sim branding, I can just add it in the slides. Done. Easy. So this will again save you a lot of time if you are someone who spends way too much time creating slides that doesn't even look nice at all. Let AI do the job for you. Okay, so that's one. Sorry, I don't know how to. Tizer, is it? Tizer asked a question. Is there any way to replace a voice? Okay, the answer to that question is yes, you can, but it requires a few more steps for now, Tizer. So number one is that you can download the video, right? You can download the video here. You can use a free tool called CapCut. CapCut is a free tool, right? So you can actually use CapCut to remove the audio. And if you want to then do your own voiceover, you can do that. That's one. Or two, you are lazy like me, right? What you can do is that, okay, do we have time? Can I just demo?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. You let me know how much time you need
Okay, I have got some time.
to overrun too much because I know that you may have something on later.
Okay, so let me just download this video. So this is a 6-minute video, a bit long. So I download it first. So now it's downloading. Okay, so the video is now downloaded.
What if I told you that you could build a truly
Okay, so now I have this thing here. So what I can do is that now I will head over to this. I use multiple tools. So I'm just showing you if it's me how I do it, okay? So now I have this tool, right? So I go under CapCut. Okay, let me open up this tool. By the way, sorry, it's open on my other window. Okay, so let me just open here. So I create a new project, for example. Okay, I import this particular video. Okay. Okay, and then what I want to do is that I want to extract the audio out or isolate the voice out, right? Okay, so I extract the audio. Okay, so now my audio is out here. So far, you all understand? I import the video. I separate video as the audio. All clear? Simple, huh? So after that, what I want to do is that I just want to export this out purely using the audio. Okay, so what I do is I will export. Okay, I will export. Okay, then I will just make sure that I don't want the video. I just want the audio. Okay, so now I'm going to export the audio. Okay, I export the audio. Okay, now it's done. Okay, and then for me, I use this other software called 11 Labs. It's the voice cloning software. Later, if I got 2 minutes, I show you all something else that's quite cool. It may not be as applicable to your tutor. I can show you all something that is quite cool. That is my voice one. Okay, so I go to 11 Labs, right? 11 Labs is one of the top models out there that can replicate a voice. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Since we are on the demo, maybe I just show you. So you all can see I stopped share for a while. So I'm now holding my phone. Okay, so how do I do my own business, for example? People literally call into this number. Wait, okay, so I'm going to call a phone number right now and you all listen. Hey, Gavin, how can I help you today? Hey, Gavin, my name is Peter. Can you tell me about One Man Agency, please? Peter, nice to meet you. One Man Agency, AI automation and marketing agency in Singapore. Focus on helping businesses that you want to smart, high impact business without the usual high cost or complexity. Our main goal is to deal with the workflow, tools, strategy, to operate quickly, feel faster using AI. What are you looking to improve your business right now? For automation, marketing partners, something. Actually, I'm just a tutor. I'm a one-man show right now, so I'm not sure how AI can actually help me in what I do. Peter, and the one-man show, I can take this pager for you. Think about it. Instead of input incident system, like AI bot handle initial inquiries or frequently asked questions from positive students, even when you're busy teaching. We can also automate your workflow for things like scheduling, sending reminders, or even following up with potential clients. Freeze up your time so you can focus more on teaching and less on administrative time. Does it sound like something that could make your life a... Yeah, maybe lah. So can I? Is there a way that I can find out more? Absolutely, Peter. The best way to figure out how AI can specifically help your tutoring business, like I'll chat with you or one of my specialists. We can dive a bit deeper into your current processes, see where AI can make the most. How about a brief 15-minute strategy call? What's your availability? Yeah, okay, I think we can do that. Maybe Friday, about 2 p.m. Yes, Peter, Friday at 2 p.m. I've noted that down. You'll receive a confirmation the text shortly with all the details. Looking forward to chatting with you then, exploring how AI can help your tutoring business. Okay, for example, how many of you think that's pretty cool? Imagine you can implement this for your own tutoring business, right? So this is something that we can do. And the cool thing is that you realize that I'm talking to myself because it's my voice. And the voice comes from the training that I provided on 11 Labs. All right. So what I've done earlier was that we actually downloaded the voice file. Right? So I can actually do what I call a voice changer. On the left, I can see this thing called voice changer. Okay, so what I will do is that I will click over here.
Sorry, do you need to screen share? Actually, that was pretty mind-blowing. Yeah, this is the first time that I actually saw it live. I've saw some video clips before, but it's my first time demo live.
Oh, the voice call, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is normally it's a mind-blowing thing, but it really depends on whether your business have that need for it. Okay, so sorry, so as I was coming back here. So just now for the question, we want to change the voice for the lesson plan, correct? So I will click on, you will log into 11 Labs, for example. I will click on the left, there's this thing called voice changer. I click on that, okay? And then I can upload the file that I just downloaded, which this is actually quite long, so probably take up a bit of my credits. Okay, never mind. It's a bit too long, so we might need to break it into half. So never mind, let's head back to CapCut a bit. Let's just make it a bit shorter. Get a 1 minute thing. Okay, make it into 1 minute thing for the purpose of demo. Okay, so let me export this again. Done. 1 minute. Okay, so let me upload this. Right, so now this is the 1 minute audio. Okay, I can choose my voice, which I trained it already. Okay, and then I can generate speech from this 1 minute audio. It may not be the best, but this is the best that we have for now. It's generating.
What if I told you that you could build a truly profitable business all by yourself? No massive team, no crazy overhead, just you. And you could finally get control.
Okay, so it's a very professional voice of me, right? Because I think the initial audio was very professional, right? So now it's just changing me to emulate how professional that first voice was. But for me, I can still guess that it's me, but it's just not the way that I'm talking right now, obviously. Right now it's conversational, but it's my voice too.
You're just stuck on a hamster wheel.
Okay, so then once I've done that, all I need to do is that, for example, I just download this audio, right? So now I've downloaded this audio. I go back to CapCut. I go to import okay, the new audio that I have, and then I will just bring it down here. And Dizer, this is how suddenly now you will have a slide that is using your voice.
If I told you that you could build a truly profitable business all by yourself, no massive team, no crazy overhead, just you.
Yeah, and then if you like it, then you can simply export it if you want, right? So you can actually do this, right? Generate the video, change the voice, upload it, it becomes so-called quote unquote your property in your voice. Or if you really feel that if they're trying to emulate the professional voice is not good enough for you, all you need to do is get the transcript out, you do your own voiceover. That's another option, right? So that is ways, right? Sorry if I keep pronouncing your name wrongly, but that is how you do it. Okay, yeah, cool. So that is the demos that I have. Like, no, I think we might be a bit behind time, so I do not want to belabor the point. If there's any other questions, I'm more than happy to stay to answer. But yes.
Okay, I think I gained a lot of value from the sharing. Before we wrap up, can all feel like type into chat box right now? What is your biggest takeaway? I think it's important to have feedback as well, and this is also what motivates us to conduct such workshops for all of you to really value add and help you all to advance your business using less time and resources. Okay. Can I have a show of hands who is typing into chat box? So at least we know that we are waiting for somebody. Yeah, otherwise just waiting and okay. Gavin, while waiting for them, I'm just curious about that your clone pick up the call and can answer the questions and also can block out the time. Is it being linked to a scheduler or you just say yes to any that the person wants?
No, you can. So there's a few things. Right? Of course, number one, the way that you guide your voice agent, you have to prompt it correctly to make sure that he has the necessary tools that it needs to use. That's number one. And number two, you have the necessary guardrails. Because cannot be halfway then suddenly you ask, hey, can you give me a massage? And the AI will say, yeah, sure, of course you can. You know, right? So you must also put the necessary guardrails. So that is something that you must prompt very well. So prompting is a fundamental skill set in your AI journey. Prompting is a fundamental skill set that you need to have for your AI journey, right? It's very important. Okay. And then to answer your question again, does it really connect to the backend tools? And I think the answer is yes. As long as you give it the right API or the right connections, the AI really will check my schedule to make sure that my schedule is open and then to book the appointment or to suggest alternative time if the appointment day is not available.
And the platform to use it, which platform you're using?
Yes, of course, more than happy to share. I don't keep one, so it's no problem.
Yeah.
There are a few ways that you can do it. Number one is that you can either use what are called NEN is the workflow automation building tool. So you can use that to build up very complicated sequences. So in showing what I've shown you earlier, you can use NEN plus 11 labs plus connection to Google, so on and so forth to build everything together if you're a bit more techy. Okay, so that's one way. The second way is that, remember, I showed you all Silza as well. So Silza itself also have this function, right? My software also have this function that you can potentially do it also. And then everything is inbuilt, so it's a bit less tech. For non-techy, you also can manage it a bit easier. Okay, but in my program, and I still teach using the fundamentals because for me, it's not about promoting my own tools. Of course, if you're using it, I'd be grateful, but it's about making sure that you all learn the fundamentals so that you all have the option to choose whatever tools that you want to use.
Got it. Yeah. So there are a few ways to reach you. One is to rewatch the replay. The other one is for those who are keen to learn more from Gavin, definitely you can connect with him. I will definitely put the registration link in the description below. So you can click on it and then see which is the next free session that he has, which will definitely is not enough. And then you can connect with him to ask about his paid workshops, which I think is important as well because it's across 3 days, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, it's actually across 3 days,
Yeah.
half days, and then you get lifetime support. Actually, the last bootcamp for the year is this weekend. So if you all feel that I might be the right person to learn from, then you can ask John for the details. If not, my public webinar, the last one for the year, is actually tomorrow. Yeah.
For the benefit of the audience now, if you don't mind, you can leave a phone number in the chat box.
Okay, actually, you all can just, the website you all can go to is just web.onemainagency.org, or I'm very open when you all can use my number. I just type my number in the chat.
You can let them know it's from John so that he knows where you are from and not some random AI bot.
So if the number is my personal number, you all connect with me. The person reply is Gavin, the human Gavin, not the AI Gavin.
It's not the clone, right? Yes. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Sean. What you're doing right now? Yes, we have the session, right? Okay, thanks so much for all the inputs. I think it's really beneficial for me as well. A show of hands if you actually got value of it and also to the extent of like your mind is exploding. A lot of insights and inputs. I think I learned a lot from you as well. Yeah. Okay.
I would say that actually 2025 has been a year where there's amazing AI growth, right? Every other 2 days or 3 days, right? There's something new that comes out. But I think it's very important, especially for us as business owner, for you guys, especially also, many of you are business owner yourself, right? It's important not to get carried away and just be chasing the new shiny object all the time. There are a few things that I think very important for you to continue on your career. Number one is that you have to understand, I think at the beginning of this session, we talk about, it's not about AI replacing you, right? Actually, AI makes you more effective, more productive, right? It makes you better than ever. But the thing is that you need to know how to leverage on the AI, right? So that's number one. It's not about fearing it. because the person next to you who is going to be using AI will overtake you. Right? So you got to keep up the game. You got to see how it can make you more productive. So don't be afraid to embrace AI in what you're doing, right? Because whether you like it or not, it's here. So that's the first thing. Then number two is that as a business owner, what are the tools that you need really to make you better? Don't go and chase so many tools, right? There are few fundamentals. One, you just need to be clear of the fundamentals. Number one is make sure that you're good in one of the LLMs. It can be Gemini, it can be Claude, it can be whatever. If you're not a power user, honestly, it makes no difference which one specifically you are using. Okay. In general, most of them work very well right now. Right. But if I have to recommend one, personally, ChatGPT $20 a month is the best money that I ever spent for myself. Right. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell their stocks or to use that. It's up to you. Right. But choose one. Right. Choose one. Then after that, for the purpose of business growth, there are two other tools that you need to be familiar with. Number one is the automation tool. Right. So you need to be familiar with how to build automation so that you can free up a lot of your time. Sure. Granted, when you're first building out these tools, like building up some form of automation, the WhatsApp bots lah, or your email bot lah, or your scheduler lah, or your PA, that kind of thing, it will take time for you to build that up. But once you build it, it will save you hours and hours every single week. Right? So you decide for yourself, it's worth time, invest to get that sorted out. But as a business owner, it saves me hours every day. I don't have to be picking up phone calls every 5 minutes, right? But how many of you can pick up phone calls every 5 to 10 minutes? You can't, right? Or the reply message, you can't. Right? So you need a system in place to do that for you. It takes time to build up at the beginning, but it will save you time down the road. So it's an investment up front. It will save you time down the road. You decide for yourself, right? So you need to understand this, and then what are the tools that you need to use? Okay, fundamental automation tool. You learn it and the end, right? You learn already. You know how to use it. You can use whatever else, up to you. And then other than learn about vibe coding as well. In my personal opinion, I feel that the future of business will be AI powered applications, right? So imagine for yourself, right? If your students, right, in the future, right? Many of them will have handphones. All of them, okay, I believe even today, all of them have this kind of phone, right? All of them are on applications. In the future, I believe the shift in the industry will be that everybody will be on apps, right? So you must be understanding how you can be building apps for your own business, right? So as you go and learn programming language like Python, all this, you'll be like, what the hell? What is it? Even I also don't know, right? I'm not a coder. Everything I show you all today is no code. So you got to learn and familiarize yourself with some level of vibe coding apps, right? Just talk to the AI. It can build things for you, right? It can build apps that can help you connect with your students better. It can be your own personal program where you're going to be able to deliver lessons to your students, so on and so forth. So that will probably be the future. There's a lot of microtransactions going to happen on applications. In my opinion, that is going to be a future. So you might want to pay some attention to that as well. But fundamentally, three things, right? Be focused on your LLMs, right? Learn about some basic form of automations. And number three, make sure that you have some form of exposure to vibe coding, right? So you just focus on these three, learn a little bit here and there so that you can move on and be educated. What you want to do is your prerogative.
I think that's something that I want to take on as well. I think because of this AI, and I'm not sure about you, but I think some of us here are parents also, and I'm amazed by the world that our children are going into. Yeah, and all of them are always on screen, and AI, I think, is going to be the front changer. And I think I agree with what you say, which is these are just tools. At the end of the day, I think how we use the tools is really up to us. And for the fact that I did a blast to 100 plus people and 10 of y'all showed up. Yeah, I think that deserves a pat on your shoulder. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Okay, come on, give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Yeah. Or give yourself a clap. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think educators, we need to really do a lot more self-love and self-praise. Okay, and before we dismiss the class, yeah, is it okay that I can get you to do something for me? Okay, this is a free session by us, and normally what we will is for you to help us to get the name out also. So if you can, on your social media, on Facebook or IG, now take a picture of the screen now, either with all of us or with Gavin and me. Please help us out to do a shout out in your Facebook, for example, and then you can tag us or you can tag me. I think most of us are friends here. And then do a short sharing on how you benefited from the session. Is it okay? That you can help us on it? Okay, Gavin, thanks so much for the session. I think it's easily a paid workshop on its own. Show of hands if you think that this deserves to be paid. It's like a workshop. So I learned so much from it. Yeah, so Gavin, thanks so much for that. And for the rest of you, if you ever post on social media, please tag me. Okay? And then I look forward to hearing that from you.